Good morning.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm okay.
You ready?
I am.
Okay, Rikers, here we come.
Rikers, here we come. What a cheery place to visit, huh?
Doreen Quinn Giuliano has become all too familiar with one of the country's most dangerous and notorious jails.
It's out of control. It's, very violent between the inmates and the guards. You don't know who to trust.
Every week, she makes the hour-long drive from her home in Brooklyn to Rikers Island to see her son, John.
John doesn't belong here.
Where does he belong?
Home.
But in 2005, a jury convicted John Juka of murder, sending him away for 25 years to life.
Does it ever cross your mind that maybe John did have something to do with it?
No, I'm 100% sure he did not.
How can you be 100% sure?
Well, the facts. Just follow the facts.
There's a part of me that's sympathetic to Doreen Giuliano, and I almost admire the fact that she stood by him to this point. But John Juka is not the victim in this case. It's Mark Fisher.
It was Columbus Day weekend, 2003. 19-year-old college student Mark Fisher is taking a long weekend, a break from the books and classes. Wanting to blow off some steam, he heads to the Big Apple to explore the hopping bar scene on Manhattan's Upper East Side.
It had to be tremendously exciting for a guy from suburban New Jersey. He's going to the big city for the first time, and there are going to be some girls there that he knows from school.
That school, Fairfield University, where Fisher, a sophomore, is an athlete on the dean's list, studying to become an accountant.
Mark Fisher was every parent's dream. A big, strapping, good-looking student athlete, the prom king in his high school, a phenomenal football player.
But on that night, Mark Fisher has no interest in running defensive plays or crunching numbers. He's just looking to have a good time.
Mark runs into a girl that he goes to school with. She brings a lot of her friends with her.
There's one pretty blonde he's got his eye on. They bond over a couple of slices of pepperoni.
He was following her wherever she went that night.
But what started as an innocent night on the town soon takes a different turn after the twosome meets Tommy Soleil and his buddies.
A bunch of us went to these bars on like the Upper East Side.
Bunch of guys.
A bunch of guys.
Cruising for chicks.
Yeah.
Cruising for chicks along with him that night, his wingman from high school, John Juka.
Best friends.
Yeah, hang out every day, weekends.
They try and fail to score some drinks.
Fake IDs didn't make it?
No.
Some members of the group that were unable to get into the bars.
So 20-year-old John Juka comes up with a plan.
He says, my parents are away for the weekend. Why don't we go to my house and have a party?
This was an impromptu party. This was not something that was planned. This was something that just happened.
Their journey that night will take them from the trendy bars of New York's Upper East Side across the fabled Brooklyn Bridge, where Mark Fisher has no idea what he's about to get into.
Why was it decided to go to John Juka's house?
His mom was away, and he had a big house. It was like the easy choice.
So it was a little bit like the cat's away, the mice will play.
Yeah.
I was in Florida on a weekend vacation with my husband.
And John decided to throw up an impromptu party.
I mean, there was a few kids that got stranded in Manhattan and had no place to go.
One of those stranded kids, Mark Fisher, who's now not only enamored, he's hammered. According to Tommy Soleil, Fisher is intoxicated, strapped for cash, and has no way of getting back home to New Jersey.
I remember John saying, just come with us.
So this kid you had just met, pretty out of it,
Yeah.
didn't have money. Let's just take him home and let him sleep it off.
Yeah, I'm assuming that he was friends with one of the girls or something like that.
And he figured he'll bring them here to my house, get some beers, and be young adults, young, teenagers.
Drinking,
Drinking, I'm sure they were smoking also.
smoking weed.
Yes.
And yet that impromptu party turned into perhaps one of the biggest mistakes of his life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Doreen says one of those mistakes, her son's decision to invite neighborhood bad apple Antonio Russo, known for his long dreadlocks and a penchant for picking fights.
So tell me about Antonio Russo.
He was a bit of a wild card. He was younger than all the other boys.
He was more of a street kid. He didn't have the support system at home that John Juka and many of John's other friends had.
He's known to be a marijuana dealer.
Antonio Russo, a.k.a. Tweed, is said to supply the weed.
At one point, after Mark had been at this house for about an hour or so, it's believed that John Juka basically accused him of being a mooch. He was drinking their beer, he was smoking their pot, he wasn't bucking up.
According to witnesses, Juka thought it was time for the mooching Mark Fisher to pay up.
Shortly after 5 a.m., Mark Fisher went to an ATM machine and purchased a six-pack of beer.
What happens over the next hour depends on whom you talk to at the party. But somehow, in those early morning hours, Mark Fisher, the handsome college student out for a night on the town, stumbles away from the party, 2 blocks away to Argyle Road, and winds up dead.
I can tell you that our detectives, when they arrived at the scene, they found a male white prone in the street, obviously the victim of several gunshots. There was some trauma to his face.
The strapping 6'3", 205-pound former football player from New Jersey is found shot 5 times in the back, lying on a blanket from Juka's home.
When we hear it's a kid from New Jersey, right away you're saying, what's wrong here and how did this person end up here? Is this some sort of a drug deal gone bad? Is this some sort of a domestic issue?
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.